The sequel to the landmark Academy Award-winning film An Inconvenient Truth is coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Acclaimed filmmaker Jon Shenk is joining me to talk about An Inconvenient Sequel, Truth to Power. Jon, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Tina. I appreciate it.
Obviously, as I was saying, landmark, Academy Award winning. This sequel, of course, has some big shoes to fill, I guess you could say. Where does it kind of pick up from the first film?
Well, absolutely. You're absolutely right. You know, this film really stands on the shoulders of An Inconvenient Truth, which really kind of set the table and gave us all the language and information we needed to understand the climate crisis. 10 years later, you know, there's two kind of major things going on. One is the predictions that were made in that film by scientists at that time, 10, 15 years ago, unfortunately are coming true. You know, just look at the hurricane season we've had in Houston and in Florida and Puerto Rico, and the wildfire season that we're having in California is just devastating. And of course, these things are climate-related events. So the evidence is really getting to the point where everyday people are waking up and noticing this is not an abstract issue anymore. This is something that's affecting people's lives, and they want to take action on this. That's the downside. The upside is this incredible, hopeful story that's going on that not enough people know about, which is that solar and wind and other renewable resources of energy are becoming so cheap and inexpensive that it's now often more viable and less expensive and financially you know, advantageous to get our electricity from these new sources of energy. And that's a really exciting economic story to tell as well.
And, you know, I did mention that the Blu-ray and the DVD will be coming out here shortly. And in that, there's going to be kind of bonus footage, about 40 minutes of additional bonus footage, including you talking about why we wanted to do a sequel for Inconvenient Truth. Kind of tell me where that leads us, or why we decided to do this.
Yeah, you know, this film is really, in general, it's kind of a fly-on-the-wall observational film where you really get to know Al Gore, the man, and you see him kind of bouncing around in so many different arenas trying to get traction on this issue, and it really has become quite an emotional issue for him, and you see that when you see his energy in the film. But there's so much material that we couldn't fit into the film because we shot so much over the course of a couple years with just amazing access. And so here's an opportunity with the Blu-ray and the DVD and the streaming services to put that extra material out. So yeah, viewers can see behind the scenes footage, they can see how the film was made. They can also watch an incredible kind of short version of the slideshow, Al Gore's famous slideshow called Truth in 10, where Al Gore gives viewers the opportunity to take the slideshow and make it their own and turn it into their own presentation for their schools and businesses and families. So those kinds of materials, and of course deleted scenes that didn't quite make it into the film, are also on the Blu-ray and DVD.
And, you know, of course, this is the sequel, but you did just touch on, you know, so much advancements in technology and things that are more affordable for people to use. And this is going to be obviously an ongoing topic that we're talking about. Are we planning to do something else? Is there something already else in the works?
Well, of course, you know, we're really excited for this particular moment in time. One thing that's happened in the last 10 years is this incredible documentary revolution. I think American viewers are more and more interested in nonfiction, you know, material based on truth. And so this film will now be available for streaming and home video, and that's very exciting for us. In terms of a future work, we're hoping that filmmakers, maybe ourselves, maybe another team, can come back 10 years from now and tell an even more hopeful story about how we as American people chose to take this sustainable path and make a better world, a healthier planet for our children and grandchildren, and move towards an economy that can flourish and avoid the really frightening consequences of climate change.
Well, it was a pleasure to talk with you, Jon. And like you said, maybe you know, other filmmakers may come in and pick this up in 10 years with a great forward-thinking what we've done with this information. But I want to thank you so much for just taking a moment to talk to me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
An Inconvenient Sequel, Truth to Power, arrives on Blu-ray, DVD, and on demand on October 24th and is already available on digital HD. We'll be right back.